Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm Gio,
And I'm Josie.
and today we have a packed show for you. I had to kind of pick and choose what we were going to talk about. There was a lot this week. So, with that being said, let's jump right in. First up, Ghost of Tsushima announced an update, Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and it's coming this fall. It's obviously a PS4 exclusive. I'm hoping it'll come out on PC one day because I want to experience this game with the graphics on my PC.
You already own it on PS4. Just play it there.
No, I mean, you know how like Death Stranding got a second resurgence when it went to PC.
I do want to play it on
Yeah,
PC.
like I feel like this game would get another boost if it went to PC. All right, so let me just kind of go over what's here, and then we can discuss. So this is free, so no one has to worry about paying for this update. It's coming out fall this year. It has co-op multiplayer. So there's two kinds. So there's a two-player co-op, which has story missions, which are kind of related to the game's story, but there's like a magical twist to it. At least that's what they say. And then there's
It
four-player.
plays into the Japanese mythology more than it does in the actual game
Yeah,
because the actual game plays it pretty straight.
it does, but I do like how they have the foxes and the golden birds and stuff like that, and then the
Yeah.
different legends that you hear through the townspeople.
Yes, but Ghost of Tsushima is more like a realistic game, while this expansion feels like something like Neo.
Yeah. And I was kind of like as I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, I still am. I was kind of hoping they would delve deeper into the magical stuff, so I'm glad they're doing this. And then four-player unlocks a wave-based survival mission against enemies and demons. And then finally, they're gonna release a raid later on, which is very interesting to say the least. So it features four classes: samurai, hunter, ronin, and assassin. Um, Obviously, here, this is a samurai, ronin, hunter, and the assassin. And yeah, I mean, what do you think about it?
I'm excited. I think it's awesome. It'll definitely give the game some more legs. I actually already beat it and platinumed
Mhm.
it, so I haven't, funny enough, deleted it from my PS4, and this gives me even more reason not
Yeah,
to wait for this expansion to come out
yeah.
or this this content.
And what it does for me is, first of all, I'm hoping you and me can play this together. And what it does for me is it makes me want to platinum the game even more now because I haven't had, I've been playing like 3, 4 hours a day.
Hmm.
Which how many hours did it take you to platinum it?
I don't know, 80 hours, if not less than that.
Yeah. So I would say I'm about I would say I'm about halfway. I've cleared the whole, like, you know how the island is split into three parts?
Yes.
I cleared the whole bottom part. So
Yeah, I want to say that I was very what's it called? Diligent, but also I really enjoyed just like roaming around the island.
yeah.
So I was inefficient with my platinum as it is.
Yes.
And so like if you like to just roam around and just chill and live in that world, then just have fun and do it. And even then, even though you've cleared the first half,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, you need to go through the next part of the game and it unlocks things that you couldn't get access to previously.
Yeah, I suspected that.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that even if you clear certain parts of the map, if you go back to the map and you look at them and they're still white instead of that like grayish looking.
The fog of war.
Not no, not the fog of war. I mean like on the symbol. So you know how like if
Oh,
you
yes.
pass like a fox den, if you don't do the fox den, it'll be white.
Yeah, it'll tell you whether it's completed or
Yeah,
not.
I've noticed certain areas you can wipe them out, but then when you go and look at the map again, they're white again. And what I've noticed is like it changes. Like different people move into that area. You know what I mean? So it's ever
Yeah.
evolving.
And some quests are actually NPC
Hmm.
based, and they're NPCs that you can run into in the world. So they're not quests that you'd be able to like look on your map.
No.
They're NPCs that are like roaming around certain areas, and you won't know until you find them.
Yes, and there's a lot of hostages all over the map too that you can save.
Well, those are like uh, Spider-Man pizza deliveries,
Yeah,
uh,
but I
but
feel
but but with
good.
with with higher stakes.
Yeah, I feel good saving him though.
Oh no,
Yeah,
definitely. I feel like it's
yeah,
important. If anything, it definitely makes those moments very high tension. I remember earlier on in the game, before I had even unlocked a lot of the content for my character, and I was kind of weak.
yeah,
I was kind of, let's say, flimsy. I lost saving one of those hostages multiple times, and it really
yeah,
hurts. I'm like, damn it! Like I failed my
yeah,
people,
yeah,
the people of Tsushima that I'm here to guard.
yeah, yeah. You because you see them and then like you'll be like, oh shit, and I'll run up and do a standoff. But then by the time I do that, they've already murdered him. I'm like, fuck, what am I doing?
Not just that, but also when you do save those NPCs, they give you hints or some items and stuff
Yeah.
like that sometimes.
And I do want to say on the west or on the eastern border or on the eastern coast, kind of like midway through the bottom half of the island, I
Yes.
did find something that was not on the map and it was pretty cool. And it's kind of like in
Well,
a little cove area. So,
there's literally hidden
yeah,
things
there's hidden
that,
things.
that don't show up on the map,
Yeah.
and they're actually part of the trophies as well. So
Yeah.
you'll find that out.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're both excited for that and I can't wait to try it out.
Hmm.
Next up, this is a game that a friend of mine sent me a video for, and it kind of blew up all over the internet. Did you see this? Black Myth
Yes.
Wukong?
Yes.
So I wanted to kind of like briefly go over, my initial impressions of it. So it's a Chinese mythology journey to the West, I guess is the mythology. And it's a third person action adventure, maybe slash RPG game. And you play as the Monkey King, Wukong, and it looks like you're able to turn into different animal spirits. And the environment to me looked very detailed, very vibrant. The gameplay looked really quick, fast paced, a lot of martial arts movements. I thought it had great particle effects. The boss battles looked insane. Towards the end of the trailer, they like preview a bunch of different bosses. Some of them look insane. They have, and so here's the thing. This might, and it's built using Unreal Engine 4. There's no release date, but I wanted to kind of talk to you about this. So the speculation is that this might be the first triple A Chinese game that blows up internationally, which I think is pretty cool because until now I haven't really seen that. So I mean, what do you think about it?
Yeah, no, the game looks incredible. I definitely like to see more. The graphics look insane. They look more next gen than a lot of the things that were showcased in the Xbox game showcase.
Yeah, that is true.
Looking at you, Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
So, and from what I understand, this was developed by a small team of developers that had left, I believe, Tencent,
Yes, and they usually did
and
mobile
then
games.
and then it ballooned up to about 30 developers, which is still relatively a small team.
Hmm.
And so it's an impressive amount of work that they've created.
Yeah.
I'd like to see, where this goes and when it'll be released.
Yeah, and so I do want to say that like with a game as because this looks like an ambitious game to me.
And this was alpha
This
footage.
was alpha footage. With a game this ambitious, I won't be so critical on if it's like open world or more of a linear type game because um, I just want to see like what they come up with. Let me. I think I have the developer's name written down here. Game Science. And yeah, so I guess they were used to making mobile games, so this is kind of like a huge jump for them. And yeah, it looks impressive so far. So I don't want to be too critical for my expectations. I just kind of want to see what happens with it. So
Yes.
and it is a kind of game that you and me are interested in, you know.
I mean, I love like ancient mythology type tales from like any kind of mythology, to be honest.
Yeah,
So like the more out there, the merrier. Like we were really excited about the game last week that we talked about, Raji, which is about an Indian mythology.
yeah.
So I'm more excited to see these kinds of stories and that I haven't been really exposed to. Journey to the West, I think we've seen a lot of,
Yes, there's been a lot of Monkey King
but not
adaptations.
like
No,
this. And so I'm interested to see where they take it.
yeah. There's actually a new Monkey King show on Netflix right now. I I
Yes.
watched one episode. Wasn't my thing, but the Monkey King is definitely one of the most popular Chinese mythology that to come to the West. So,
It's Journey to the West, bro.
yep, literally. So next up, all right. So this is kind of I don't want to. This is very technical. I don't want to be too dry here, so I'm just kind of like go over some of the impressive things. So essentially, Microsoft kind of gave a presentation at the hot chips on their Xbox Series X CPU, but not just their CPU, a lot of other things. And Digital Foundry, you know, we reference them a lot. They make great videos. And I'll link this article in the description. So Digital Foundry did a breakdown of this. So I'm just kind of going to go over the basic things that they talked about. So it has 3 times the transistors as a standard Xbox One, which is pretty impressive. It has 15.3 billion transistors. It has 8 megabytes of L3 cache. It has a hardware acceleration part on the CPU. So that means it's going to have faster video encoding and decoding. It's developed with AMD. So AMD actually worked. Oh, yeah, here's a chart. I'll pull this up. So AMD actually worked with Microsoft to develop this. It can run as a next-gen console in the cloud. So what does that mean? This means that this is fast enough to play an Xbox Series X game in the cloud and then stream it to someone in their house. So that's pretty impressive. Not only that, it can run one chip can run 4 Xbox One S consoles in emulation at once. So that's pretty crazy. It's custom designed to provide next-gen power, but without too high of a cost. They actually had to be more creative this time because of silicon prices are going up. And it has something important where it's called, let me see if shader feedback streaming. It gives the developers 2.5 times as much capacity to load art in the game. So that means, essentially what that means is that like a lot of games, they have a bunch of shaders and textures that aren't actually loaded because they don't have enough ability to load them. So this gives them 2.5 times as much capacity. So you're going to see older Xbox games that are backwards compatible. They're going to look much sharper and more detailed because those textures were always there, but there was just a bottleneck on the previous generation. So even the older games are going to look better. Now here is something that the gentleman in the Digital Foundry video said was like super impressive. You can actually swap between Xbox One X game states in 6.5 seconds, which means 9 gigabytes of data is being written to the SSD and then being read back into memory in 6.5 seconds. So that's extremely impressive. Now, it definitely utilizes the SSD architecture very well. That being said, so does the PS5. They're gonna utilize SSD technology very well. It is confirmed that the GPU has RDNA 2. I won't get into what that is because I don't know. But it's able to do 4K at 120 hertz, and it's able to even do 8K and it has 12 teraflops, 560 gigabytes per second, and that is 2 times the speed of an Xbox One X. So the graphics ability is twice as fast as a Xbox One X, and it's going to fully support ray tracing, but it's going to be used economically. And here's something that's interesting: it has the same power usage as a standard Xbox One, so it doesn't use any more power than a standard Xbox One, and it uses machine learning for resolution upscaling. What does that mean? Well, I think it's going to be huge for backwards compatibility because machine learning is going to be able to find the best way to upscale some of these older games. So you might have older games looking like crazy good in a way that can only be done on the Xbox Series X. And so, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the summary of what they're going to have in the Series X. I mean, what do you think?
I think I need to see games.
Well, yeah. So at the end of the day, it comes down to games. But like technology-wise, this seems pretty cool. If you're like a tech nerd type,
Yeah. I'm not that
Yeah.
type, and so it's as impressive as all of that sounds. As long as there isn't something to play, if there's something that I'm interested with, then it means nothing.
Yeah.
Like the Switch, not arguably, is the weakest console out of all consoles, and it has more games that I want to play than anything on the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can have all that power, but if you don't have the games, then what's the point?
Yeah. No, that's true. And as we've discussed here many, many, many times, they're definitely going the access route as far as games go. They want to give you as much as they can, although it seems like they're not willing to put out as much money for exclusives as Sony. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
But they own all those studios.
Yeah, which is probably why they can't afford exclusives anymore because they just bought studios.
While you have, who is it? THQ Nordic buying the entire world.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, it comes down to games, and I do think that the PS5. I kind of covered the specs loosely before. I do think the PS5 is going to be impressive as well. I just think that it seems like Microsoft is just going above and beyond in the way that they're designing this system. So,
but see that's I guess the weird disconnect, in my opinion, is that it seems to be that they're putting all these resources into creating this system, but at the end of the day, you don't need that system in order to be part of the Xbox Game Pass, the xCloud service. So
yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, no, we talked about that, and for those that are unfamiliar, you can actually get the Xbox Game Pass on a PC, and they're definitely working on a mobile variant as well. So
they just need a way to get into those stores.
Yeah. It seems like they're trying to instead of focusing on a console, they're more focused on an ecosystem, so to speak. So
yeah.
We'll see. I'm definitely going to get the Game Pass, though, to try out Halo Infinite when it comes out because it's going to be on PC, which is going to be the first time ever a Halo has launched on PC and console at the same time. So,
Cool.
all right. So next up, we kind of discussed this last week. I wanted to give an update for those that don't know, but I'm sure a lot of people already know this. So let me just kind of quickly go over what happened. Epic Games, they altered their Fortnite app on both the Apple and Google Play stores, and they removed, or they put purchasing of their whatever digital assets inside the game so that they circumvented the whole payment ecosystem of those two shops. They were quickly kicked off by both. And here's what I find interesting: they didn't sue Apple or Google. They only sued Apple, and they focused on Apple. I assume that's because maybe the bulk of their business is on Apple.
Yeah.
But they didn't sue Google. They just sued Apple, and
Because whatever happens with Apple, if the court goes in Epic's favor, then Google would have to follow suit.
yeah. So yeah, you're right. One suit would set a precedence. But here things get a little tricky. So Apple said they're going to remove Epic Games development tools, i.e., Unreal Engine development tools from iOS developers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Epic obviously freaked out. And then Apple said, hey, don't fall for this, because it turns out that Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic Games, was emailing us all along asking for special treatment. And you and me, we even said last week we felt no sympathy for Epic Games because it seemed like this was a very deliberate move by them.
Yes, I mean they had a marketing campaign already prepared.
Yeah,
and a hashtag.
yeah. And check this out. Let me read this. This is from Tim Sweeney to Apple. I don't know if this is to Tim Cook or it was to somebody. Apple would need to provide a side letter or alter its contracts and standard documents to remove such restrictions to allow Epic to provide a competing app store and competing payment processing option to iOS customers. It continued, although the letter did note that we hope that Apple will also make these options equally available to all iOS developers. So it's not 100%. Tim Sweeney was just like, yeah, hook us up, screw everyone else. He did say, if you do this for us, we hope you do this for all the other iOS developers as well. But that being said,
us first.
Yeah, but that being said, that could have just been to cover his ass. You know what I mean? So
at the end of the day, he's still asking for preferential treatment before anyone else.
And at the end of the day, none of these other independent developers have a pipeline straight to Tim Cook like he does, you know? So that in and of itself is not fair.
Wait, was that a text message? Did he text message?
That was an email. That was one of the 3 emails that he sent. So here's where I stand. Yes, it seems like this battle was destined to happen at some point. You know what I mean? I think some big developer was going to come after Apple at some point. And I already said last week that I think these corporations are too powerful in their ecosystems. But that being said, I don't have sympathy for Tim Sweeney because it looks like this has all been planned out. And at the end of the day, who does this hurt? It hurts those independent developers Tim Sweeney professes to care so much about, and that Apple professes to care so much about as well. Because
No, Apple first and foremost is a business. I don't think they profess to care about them as much as they profess about their bottom line,
yeah,
which
yeah,
which is what Epic was trying to hit.
yes, I have to push back there because I did watch the congressional hearings with Tim Cook, and one of his biggest points was we care about the individual developers on the App Store. So he said it
Well,
in his own
I mean,
words.
you didn't see the subtitle? Individual developers that don't use Epic Unreal
Yeah,
Engine.
yeah. So I'm just seeing hypocrisy from both sides here. This is getting real ugly. All I'm worried about is the developers. I mean, because if you take those tools that Epic, you know, which is great that they make Unreal Engine open for people. You know what I mean? I think that's one admirable thing that Epic does is they have this amazing game engine and you can just download it for free and develop. And I think you don't have to pay until your game reaches a certain scope. Then you have to pay them royalties or whatever. But dude, any kid can just download Unreal Engine and learn how to make a game, which I think is amazing. And I think to close that off to your ecosystem of iOS developers is a huge disservice to yourself too. So I don't know. I don't know where I see this going. I mean, do you have any predictions?
I mean, Epic started this fight.
Yeah.
I think Apple's going to end it for them.
Yeah.
I don't think they were prepared for that kind of blowback.
Yeah.
It's like Apple brought a minigun to a knife fight.
Yeah.
So Epic's got. I mean, I don't think. Not that I know of, but I don't think developers are angry at Apple right now. They're more angry at Epic.
Yeah. Because they initiated it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucks,
so,
man. It sucks.
So I mean, I think Epic needs to make a move. Either they need something worthwhile in order to combat whatever they're trying to combat, which is the unfair pricing.
Yeah. 30% is a big cut.
30% is the large cut.
Yeah.
30% is the large.
Yeah. And if I'm correct, on their store, on the Epic store, they do 80-something% to the developer. Don't quote me. I can't remember. I knew when it came out, but they don't do 30% on the Epic store. They actually give the developer around 80%. So it does fall in line with their own philosophy on this whole thing, but I just don't think they can battle Apple alone. They're not big enough. So
yeah.
So we'll see what happens. And like we said, the only recourse is the legal system. So
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, this is something that just sucks. So Ubisoft, they're gonna change collector's editions pre-orders for Xbox, and this is what it says. Pre-orders for the collector's editions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, and Watch Dogs Legion for Xbox will receive a digital key to redeem instead of a physical disc. And this is from Ubisoft themselves, so you can believe this is true. So...
Wait a second. I wanted to read that.
Oh, yeah. Let me go back.
Because they said pre-orders for collector's editions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, and Watch Dogs Legion for Xbox will receive a digital key to redeem instead of a physical disc. Yeah, that sucks because, honestly, like, why single out the Xbox versus the PlayStation?
Yeah, I don't get that at all. It just seems like it seems like they would only be helping PlayStation and hurting Xbox players. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, me personally, I've already pre-ordered Far Cry 6,
Okay.
and I pre-ordered it on the Xbox, and I pre-ordered the collector's edition. So,
Oh. What are you
so
gonna do now?
uh, I mean, I literally just heard this information just
Okay.
now. So I will most likely. I think in terms of pre-orders, they don't allow for refunds or returns. So I need to double check that
Yeah.
because they honestly changed the product after I've already pre-ordered it. So that's kind of
That's a breach of contract.
that's
Yeah.
unfair.
That's a breach of contract because or what do they call it? False advertising.
Yes.
Yeah, that's false advertising. I mean,
Because I mean, I don't know if you want to go back to the website real quick, but they have a link to go to the collector's
all
editions.
right.
Click on Far Cry 6 real quick. Because I pre-ordered that collector's edition, and that the collector's edition all the way on the right. Yeah, that one.
Okay, let's go down here. Okay.
And initially, they had like the collector's edition case,
Mm-hmm.
the steelbook.
Yep.
What the hell is the point of the steelbook if there's no disc in it?
Yeah, that's freaking stupid. Yeah, man, I would try to get a refund on this.
Yeah, that's just it's super lame. Like I was excited for that flamethrower. I'm not kidding. I
Yeah.
was.
On a side note, I do want to say that when I saw this story, I immediately thought of you. That's why I put it in the lineup, and I'm glad I did because this directly affects you.
Yes. No. Exactly.
Yeah.
As soon as that Far Cry 6 trailer hit, I was like, "Oh, I'm in for this."
Now,
And then now, this knocks me out. Like I was excited for all those that sweet gear
do you have
because I'm
any?
a sucker for collector's editions. If you can't tell,
Yeah. No. Yeah. You love collector's editions. Do you have any words for Ubisoft? Since you're being
don't.
directly affected here.
Well, I mean, like I don't know what to say because I need to understand what's happening. Are they doing this because of smart delivery? Because I mean, PlayStation 5 doesn't have smart delivery. Xbox does.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
And if they're doing this as a cost cutting measure in order to be like, hey, you have the game, you've already redeemed it with this code that allows you to have it available both on Xbox One and Xbox Series X, then I understand
Yeah.
to a degree. But
when
I mean, how is Cyberpunk 2077 gonna work? Like I already pre-ordered that as well,
Yeah.
and that's the collector's edition. I'm not saying CD Projekt Red is going to remove the physical disc, but how's
No.
smart delivery going to work? Because that's already guaranteed to have smart delivery. CD
Yeah.
Projekt Red stated as
Yeah.
much.
No. As far as I know, the way it works is you buy the game, you load it on your Xbox, Microsoft knows you own the game, and then when you buy the next gen, you're automatically unlocked the download of the next gen version. That's it. It shouldn't cost them. Yes, it costs them to develop it and
Print on the disc.
yeah, but as far as like why let's take this disc away because of they're gonna have smart that does not compute in my brain. So I don't think that might be the reason, but I don't know, man. It just seems dumb because collector's editions a lot of the times will lose their value if there's no physical media. Who's gonna want to buy a collector's edition that doesn't have a physical disc in it? I mean, are you gonna have to go out and buy another physical copy of the game just so your collector's edition has it?
It's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that. And this is the worst game to have this problem for. But when this game came out, I'm going to tell you what the game
Okay.
is afterwards. I'm going to tell you the story first. When this game came out, it didn't get the great reviews. I was interested in it mostly because of the franchise,
Mhm.
and it had a really cool collector's edition.
Okay.
And a few, I'd say, months or so afterwards, the collector's edition was $50 on newegg.com.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, snap. It's on sale. I'm going to get it. I got the collector's edition, and it did not have a physical disc. It had a download code for it. And I was so upset. I was like, what the? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I just expected it to have the disc inside. So I feel kind of like cheated in that regard, but I really should have done my due diligence.
Yes.
Anyway, I went out and I finally got a physical copy of the disc. Do you want to know what game this is for?
Yes.
Halo 5 Guardians.
Ah, yeah. I have it over there in my library.
I still haven't played it.
Dude, it's the worst Halo of all.
I know, I know. I still want to play it
It's the
though. I still
worst.
want to.
I I
But
I bought an Xbox for it.
but you see what I
Yeah.
mean in terms of like I want that physical disc.
It
I want that tangible item
yeah.
in my hands.
Yeah, I'm gonna I want everyone to know this who pre-ordered this, so I'm gonna make that the headline title for this week. I'm gonna I'm gonna let everyone know that Valhalla, Far Cry, and what was the third one?
Watch Dogs Legion.
Watch Dogs Legion's collector's editions for Xbox will not have physical discs, so that people can go to Ubisoft and complain or wherever they made the pre-order and
So messed up.
yeah. And this is something as gamers we should not allow. We
Yeah.
should not allow this
Yeah.
to happen. There should be pushback every time a company tries to do this. So, all right, next up, this was your bummer news of the week, and this is my bummer news of the week. Okay. So, just when I was being kind to Facebook and not hating them as much as I normally do,
You messed up.
they went ahead and they said, "Hey, guess what? You know that cool VR headset that you bought from us? Well, you're gonna have to have Facebook to use it now." And this, I gave them so much credit because they didn't force you to log in with Facebook. So here's what they say. If you already have an account, you're not going to have to log into Facebook. So I'm not going to have to log into Facebook for 2 years. And then on January 2023, my account will become void. And I'll have to log into Facebook to use my Oculus. So let me just, I don't want to read this because that's all you need to know. Let me just give a message to Facebook. And in January 2023, I will have a new VR headset and it won't be an Oculus. There, I said it. By you doing this, you completely made me, I'm not going to buy another Oculus. So there, you did it. You just lost a customer. And who knows how many other customers they're going to lose. Because
I mean, you bought that recently.
Yeah.
You should have to return it.
well,
And buy what is it? What's the one made by Valve?
I've had it over a month.
Yeah, that's you should be able to return it.
I thought the return window is like a month normally for like
Where'd you buy it from?
I bought it from them. Yeah, you know what? I can't go look at it because
You should be able to return
Yeah.
it. Look that.
yeah. But yeah, this is stupid. I mean, not everyone wants to use Facebook. You don't use Facebook.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't even
but
have
I
a
do use
Facebook.
Facebook Messenger, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's because of school.
Yeah. I mean,
But Facebook, if I didn't have to have Facebook Messenger as a easy school chat utility, then I wouldn't have it at all.
yeah.
But what's so bad about having a Facebook profile for your VR headset for you?
What's bad for me is that I'm eventually going to disable my Facebook 100%. So
Oh, wait, you said eventually, so you have a Facebook right now.
yeah, but it's inactive. It's in the inactive state, and the only reason I have it is because there's a web service that I use quite frequently, and it's tied to my Facebook account. And also, gamesibeat has a Facebook, but I don't really use it. I have to evaluate that. But as far as like a personal standard, I stopped using Facebook when I realized that they were like,
Stealing all of your data.
yeah, not just them, but third parties, like the Cambridge Analytica scandal. I mean,
Yeah.
that was horrible. They just stole everyone's data and used it to get Trump elected. And I mean,
But who doesn't steal your data?
I know, but you,
You have a Google account.
yes, I do have a Google account, but I have moved away from that. I've actually built my own web platform of
I
tools.
was hoping you would say you built your own Google.
No, I use something called Sandstorm, which has like
Is it rude?
Funny enough, I don't know people. There was an MMA fighter, Wanderlei Silva. He used to come out to Darude Sandstorm, and it was like the most random thing because he would come out to Darude Sandstorm and then he would just beat people into submission. But
And
yeah,
it was a fitting entrance
yeah.
theme.
But yeah, this sucks. This sucks. I hate when companies do this because they always promise in the beginning, "Oh no, we're not gonna force everyone to use our. This is a totally unrelated product. Tell me, what does VR have to do with Facebook? It has nothing to do with Facebook.
But Facebook owns the company.
I know, but there's nothing. But what I'm saying is you can't make the argument that
And
this is
you have,
needed.
and here's the thing, you have an Oculus account, right? Because that's what you need to use
Yeah.
Oculus. If anything, this streamlines the process because you already have a Facebook account too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is not everyone wants a Facebook account, and I don't believe everybody should be forced to make a Facebook account. You're
So
forcing.
I was just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
I totally agree with
Yeah.
you, but I really dislike how some companies, like I think Pinterest or maybe even Instagram. Well, Instagram's owned by Facebook.
Yeah, they're owned by
but
Facebook.
other kinds of third party products that ask you to use a Facebook account to log in. I hate that.
Yeah. Now, I do want a disclaimer. gamesibeat.com has a Facebook login option, but you don't have to use it.
I love how that I said that and then
Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm trying to be honest, It's an option. And I think the only reason I did it back then was that was before the whole Cambridge Analytica scandal. I don't know. I might have to reevaluate taking that off because I'm so mad about this.
fair enough.
But
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
yeah. No, I give people the option to log in without it. They can just make an account. So, yeah, I think you should have two options. Have a Facebook login for people that want the streamlined, quick approach, and then have an Oculus login. It's super easy. I can make a login system in a week. I could do one in a day if it's prepackaged, but I could essentially make my own login system in a week. And like, it's not hard. So this is stupid. I don't agree with it at all. I don't like when companies try to boost one of their products by forcing another product to somehow be related to it. They're not related at all. Facebook is a social media platform. It has nothing to do with a VR gaming headset. All right? So that's my spiel. That really bothered me. As you can see.
No, I didn't. I couldn't tell. Please go
on. So next up, we have something cool. I like to cover these little retro things. So check this out. So do you remember those Astro City cabinets?
No.
Okay. You can actually buy them on eBay. Like you can buy used ones on eBay.
They're probably an arm and a leg.
Yeah, there are thousands, I think. So these are like amazing cabinets. They're very, very well made, and they're very kind of iconic within the arcade scene. So let me
Why are they iconic? I've actually explained it to me because I've never even seen one of these.
oh uh well, to be honest, I don't know why they're iconic. I just know that they are, you know. Um and and I have several friends who want a real one. And they're willing. They're. I don't know. I don't
Wait,
know.
is that Hideki Kamiya? No, it isn't.
So let's. So this is going to have 36 Sega arcade titles. Um, here's a list of some of the games: Alien Syndrome, Alien Storm, Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, Columns 2, Dark Edge, Tant, or Taunt R, Virtua Fighter, Fantasy Zone, and Alter Beast. So essentially, what it looks like is it's like a scaled down Astro City cabinet, and it looks like it's going to be priced at. I don't have the American, but it's is this pounds?
Yeah, they look like pounds.
Yeah. So 12,800 yen or 93 .70 pounds. So here's the cool thing. It has a like the classic arcade 6-button layout. But
That's about 120
yeah,
USD.
okay. Thank you. Here we have a HDMI out. Uh,
Nice.
I don't know what this might be a
That's probably a mode button, like scan lines or
yeah.
not, smoothing
And then you have two USB. So essentially,
controllers.
you can plug in controllers, and then that looks like a headphone jack and a
Yes,
power jack. So
but it looks like it's portable too. Doesn't that look like a battery part?
this looks like a battery port here, doesn't it?
Maybe it might not be, but it kind of looks like it. But it looks kind of like welded too. It might be like just a design thing.
Yeah. Now here,
It's because that was one of the problems of the Geo Mini,
yes,
that it didn't have portability
yes. So if I had to give any advice to them, I would say put a battery in it, and then you,
or allow for that
or
option.
yeah, either put a battery in or allow for someone to buy a battery and stick it in there. And they don't have to get fancy. They can just buy they can put a slot for like a typical camera battery, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
a rechargeable battery would be best.
yes, it would definitely have to be rechargeable. So yeah, that if they did that, if they made it battery capability, and then I think they have a picture of a. No, I thought there was a picture of a controller, but yeah, I assume they're going to be releasing controllers with this too. So yeah, I mean, it's just cool. Um, I like uh, I like giving people a little slice of nostalgia every once in a while that harkens back to like the days of the arcade, you know, because that's where gaming was born, you know.
Yeah,
Um, now, did you see that Sega was also going to release like a little limited mini Game Gear that's like this big? Did you see that?
dude, there's like four different versions
Yeah. Are you going to get one?
with and each one containing four games. There's a Shining Force one that I would love that has like Shining Force 1, 2, and I think the two Gaidens, the ones that came out on Game
Yeah.
Gear.
Are you going to get it?
Um, I think they're sold out. And they're only in Japan,
Yeah.
so there's no English translation.
Dang.
So no.
Yeah.
But they
I
look
know. They
awesome.
look cool, man.
They look so cool. I would love
And
them. Don't get me
they fit
wrong.
in your pocket. They
Yes,
fit in your
yes.
pocket.
If anything, I would love it if they brought it stateside and they brought one with all the games on it. Because honestly, to have each individual one and just four games each, it's
Yeah, it's a little too much.
a bit much for I think the Western market.
Yeah.
For the Eastern market, maybe, but the Western market, not so much.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to see this mini Astro City cabinet. If the games are well emulated and it has a battery option, I might get one. Um,
Yeah.
all right. And then next up we have rumors. but this is not a totally unfounded rumor. I like to pick rumors that have a little like bit of evidence.
Some hope.
Yeah. So let me just kind of give what the speculation is here. So Demon's Souls, the PS5 remake, and also Spider-Man for PS5, they got a rating, a game rating in Korea. So what does that mean? That means that the game was rated, like when they rate it like for teen or
ESRB
yeah,
rating.
ESRB ratings. So Korea gave them their ratings. Now, what does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean much if you really think about it, right? I mean, it has to get rated. But the speculation is that because they're rating them now, these are potential launch titles, which you and me talked about the fact that not to get our hopes up because we wanted Demon Souls to be a launch title, but we weren't sure. So, I mean, does this make you more hopeful that it could be a launch title?
I think it makes me more hopeful that it's within a launch window, but not a launch title.
Okay.
I just don't see it being a launch title. But then again, I mean, we don't even know when the PS5 is supposed to launch anyway. And that's what's really
Yeah.
frustrating is not knowing when this bad boy is coming out. Because honestly, it doesn't seem like they've hammered out the launch titles that are going to be coming out with it.
No, I haven't seen a detailed list of launch titles. If I do, I will definitely put it in our lineup, but I haven't seen anything like that.
No, definitely. But I mean, Demon Souls is definitely a system seller for me. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, not so much,
Yeah.
but it looks great. And I'm pretty sure it will be a system seller in general. But it's also, from what I understand, a standalone DLC type.
Hmm.
So it's not like a full
Yes.
game.
Yeah. That's the controversy I heard about it, is it's not a full game.
So even then, I don't know how many systems that would sell if people knew, or is it just that the name alone would be enough to be a system seller? I don't know.
Well, the Spider-Man game was a system seller, you're right, because they did have the Spider-Man edition, and I actually had a friend who bought that.
Yes,
So
I was there.
yeah. um, so yeah, I mean, it is a system seller, but yeah, it's not a full game. Demon Souls, on the other hand, is a system seller for me and you.
Yes.
So, and so here's the speculation. I didn't put this in the lineup because there wasn't enough information. The speculation is that Sony had a private event where they talked about potentially releasing pre-orders soon. So if they're going to do pre-orders, they have to give a launch date, right?
Yes.
So we'll see, man. We might have pre-orders for the PS5 this fall. So
Honestly, I don't see why Sony's delaying it anymore. Xbox is obviously not in the same league
mhm.
or type of competition that Sony's in.
No, no, and
So
Switch isn't even competing. They're not even making a new console
exactly.
or Nintendo.
So Sony's. I don't know what kind of game they're playing, but at the same time, I did. I watch another video game like
Hmm.
YouTuber. His name's Colin Moriarty. It's Colin's Last Stand,
Hmm.
and he was talking about the fact that he wouldn't be surprised if the system was delayed in terms of its
Oh,
release date.
okay.
And so that's another reality that we might need to face because, as far as I understand, like I said, we haven't seen much information, and the fact that there's so little information,
Hmm.
arguably 2 months out of their launch window, which is in November,
Yeah.
so September, October, November, that doesn't bode well,
No.
and that shows, at least in my opinion, little confidence in a real tangible release date.
Yeah. Or like they could do what Nintendo does sometimes, where they do like those limited targeted releases. Um, which, I mean, let's be honest, sucks for us, but it builds up hype that like is so frustrating to deal with sometimes. Um, So yeah, I hope they don't do that. I hope they just
Yeah.
release it when they can get as many people a copy as they can. Uh, and then finally, this is a story you brought to my attention. So why don't you give the backstory of what happened here?
Well, I don't know this
So this
story.
is the newest development. So what initially was the video you sent me?
A video that I sent you was from What Culture Gaming, and that video was talking about how the development heads and the marketing heads at 343 Studios was were at odds. 343 Industries, pardon, were at odds in terms of how they were marketing Halo, and I guess the marketing department wanted to push the TV show and all of the auxiliary content, like not the game.
Yeah, go figure. Marketers know what to
Yeah,
do, right?
exactly, exactly, and that maybe could have um, informed the focus of whatever's coming out for Halo to be more focused towards these other auxiliary items rather than the game itself.
Hmm.
And that's what led to the game not being as fully developed as it probably should have been, at least in our eyes,
Yeah.
because the focus isn't on the game itself.
Yes.
And that's a pretty damning report.
Yeah.
But that was a rumor.
Yeah.
And now you're saying that there has been a response to that.
Yeah. So let me read their response. So this is a statement by 343 Industries. 343 Industries has a devoted transmedia team that is working with Showtime on the creation and production of the Halo TV show. This group is separate from the Halo Infinite development team. These are two completely independent projects with dedicated teams and leadership that do not impact one another. So they're saying that no, this has no impact whatsoever. They're two completely autonomous teams, and their work does not affect one another. So I tend to believe that makes sense. I mean, if you're structuring projects, you would structure them completely separate. One's a TV show, one's a game. They should not be intertwined. So to me, that's a perfectly logical response by 343. But it doesn't explain what's going on with Halo Infinite. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on all
Yeah.
fronts. At the end of the day, it doesn't explain what's going on with Halo Infinite, and I think there's some shenanigans that maybe we're still not privy about.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as we usually do here, let's end up going over the games coming up. All right. So I didn't have a chance to kind of look over this. All right. Actually, I'll be honest. I did look at this game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel kind of
what's it
guilty of
about?
that. Um,
Why are you guilty?
because it's like a cutesy anime girl game where they ride jet skis.
That's exactly the type of game that you've been
I
wanting.
know, right? All right, so we have Kandagawa Jet Girls. I looked at this. So it looks like what was that jet ski racing game back in the day?
Wave Race.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like Wave Race, but more like anime friendly.
I played the crap out of Wave
Wave
Race
Race was
60.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wave Race was amazing. Madden NFL 21. I mean, you and me, that's not our thing.
No.
Um,
It's funny. It's funny because I was gonna say I don't really like sports games, but this week we're making an exception.
yes. So, what's it called? We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
No Straight Roads. Looks like a rhythm game. Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series. So that is already available on the Oculus. I don't know if it's available on Steam as well, but that is finally coming out to the PS VR.
Have you played it?
No, I use my VR more for like activities that I can't normally do to the lockdown. So I have like a fishing game, a shooting range game and then like a boxing game. So those are all things I can't really
What
do
about
right now.
Half-Life Alex?
What?
What about Half-Life Alex?
Yeah, no, I have that. I have that. But I want to beat Ghost of Tsushima first, and then I'll get to that. I do have it though. I do have it. And these, I was thinking about doing them, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm debating it. Okay, so are you Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered? Are you going to be getting this?
Oh man. Okay, so I'm interested in it. I want to get it, but there's no physical copy in the West.
Oh,
They made a physical copy for the East, but and so I'm on the fence, but at the same time, like I feel like I should probably just get it because I do want it.
yeah.
Um, that being said, I did buy The Last Remnant remastered when it first came out,
Okay.
and I knew that that wasn't going to get a physical copy
Yeah.
either. So there's always exceptions.
Yeah.
This might be one of those.
Ne-
But you'll know because there is very cool that you can go ahead and play multiplayer with just one game for a certain part of the game.
oh,
So
interesting.
so with up to 4 players, you can play multiplayer with friends, and you only need one game, but you can only play up to like a certain chapter
Okay. Okay.
or a certain mission, and then after that, everyone has to have a copy.
Okay. Okay. But that's pretty cool. That's kind of a way to get people interested in a game, you know?
Correct. Yes. I'm just lamenting the fact that it doesn't have a physical copy as
Yeah.
well. That
Well, hey, uh, I know we're a small show, but if any of those, if anyone watches who might work at Limited Run or
make it
make it
happen.
happen, that would be a
Yeah.
awesome
The,
limited
the way I
release.
excuse my purchase of The Last Remnant is that I own 2 copies of it already. I own it on PC and I own it on Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, I mean, I already own it on the GameCube.
Yeah.
And Lord knows I'm not going to buy more Game Boy Advance consoles just to play with friends
Yeah.
who would have to come over.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I never played Crystal Chronicles, but yeah, I would probably get it if it got a physical release.
Yeah.
So Moon, this is a RPG for the Switch. Don't know much about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about that.
Yeah, there's no trailer. Surgeon Simulator 2. Surgeon Simulator is a pretty funny PC game where it's kind of like man, what's that board game back in the day?
Operation.
Operation. Yeah, it's like a PC version of Operation where you're like just pulling out people's organs and stuff. It's pretty
Gotcha.
crazy. Yeah. So they're getting the second version. It might even be early release. I don't know. A lot of PC games are these days. Tell Me Why, Chapter 1. Don't know much about this game. It says it's an adventure.
Didn't we see it recently in one of the game things? I forget.
We might have.
Um,
Let me
I
let me
think.
pull this up real quick.
Well, it's from Don't Not Entertainment, who also did Life is Strange, and this is kind of like what's it called, a visual novel type
Okay.
game or an adventure type game where you go on and you have to choose specific text cues
Okay.
in order to progress the game, but it's mostly focused on narrative.
Okay. Well, that was a 30-second commercial, so I'm not waiting.
But
But yeah,
yeah, I think it's only on Xbox and PC.
yeah,
So I'd like to learn more about it before I make a dip. But I did love Life is Strange 1, and I still want to play Life is Strange 2.
yeah. I never those aren't my type of games. But they do look stunning.
I mean, they've got some really cool stories. At least Life is Strange 1 had a really awesome story, some fantastic voice work.
Yeah.
Ashley Birch from Hey Ash, What You Plan is in there. The only kind of real negative I would give it is literally the dialogue. The dialogue feels like it was written by like a 40-year-old French person. That's like this is the common U.S. slang.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Because Don't Nod's a French developer.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Um, Tom's Clancy's Elite Squad. That is a mobile game. It looks like a
Oh,
strategy game. And to what you were saying before, Captain Tsubasa, Rise of the New Champions is coming out finally.
here's the exception to my rule of no sports games.
Yes. So you and me both got this for PS4,
Yep.
and I was thinking, why don't we do like a stream and you and me play
Yep.
online together?
Oh yeah.
So,
You'll probably kick my ass.
dude, I have no idea how this game is going to play, but it looks like they're taking
That's
like
wild.
it. Here, let me just pull this up. It looks like they're taking the the kind of like the features of a typical soccer game, but then they're making it anime style. Where and a friend of mine told me that it's a high school team.
Are they high
I
school?
I think so. I don't quote me on that. I think
I don't know. I've never watched the anime.
yeah.
I just learned recently that the anime is actually based off of the 1978 World Cup,
Oh wow.
and or at least the manga was. It was inspired by the 1978 World Cup.
Okay. So maybe they are not a high school team, but they do look young.
They do look young. I mean,
Yeah.
I could definitely be wrong.
Yeah. But yeah.
But this
So
looks like so much fun. It looks
I know it
crazy.
looks insane. So we've covered this game many times, but essentially it's like a fast-paced anime soccer game, and they're gonna have all kinds of modes. They're gonna have career mode, I believe. You can like make your own
Build-
teams, and they even have a customization too, so you can do character customization and all that. So yeah, it looks awesome. Look at that guy's buck tooth.
Yeah, that chipmunk dude. I love that.
So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to this. It's coming out this week, so I'm gonna try to beat Ghost of Tsushima before this comes out.
Do it, dude.
Nexomon Extinction. Um, it's an.
I have no
I
idea what that
don't know
game
what
is.
this is. Let me pull up the Amazon link.
It says RPG though.
Okay, it looks like a
Okay.
JRPG.
It definitely looks like a JRPG. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like, this is like the newest style of graphics that are kind of big on like mobile and kind of like lower budgeted games these days.
Yes.
Um,
I say this with no offense. It's like an RPG Maker game.
yes, yeah, yeah. Project Cars. Um, I'm not big into car racing games. I used to be, and you know what? I would actually be pretty cool with a new Burnout game or something like that. But
Well, they did bring out Burnout Paradise recently, but Burnout Paradise isn't my favorite one. Burnout 3 Takedown is my favorite one.
yeah,
And I was playing it with the retro tink you lent me on my widescreen.
nice, nice. How was it?
The retro tink isn't good for that.
Oh, yeah,
I need to get that new retro tink 2XM
yeah.
multi-format. But Burnout 3 is still a fun game. Oh my god, it's so
It's
cool.
awesome. It's awesome.
It's so good. Yeah, if they made a game like that, like oh my gosh,
Yeah.
bring it back.
Wasteland 3. Um, don't know much about this game. Let's see. The Patriarch of Colorado strikes a deal with the Desert Rangers. Don't know. Don't know what that means. But yeah. And then Windbound. So I did see some stuff. I believe I watched the trailer for this game.
Yeah, this looks Zelda Wind Waker-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it does. I would. This is a game that I would probably get for the Switch. It seems like a cool title to play on the Switch. But I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I have too many games right now. I just got too much. But it looks cool. It definitely looks like a cool game.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, that's it for this week. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Leave some comments below if you want to say anything to us. And please like, subscribe. We want to keep doing this, but we also want to grow our community as well.
Yeah. Until next time, keep playing games.
Yeah. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please subscribe and leave a comment below, and we'll see you all next time.